Hello, sixth graders. Today we are doing section 16.5. So we are going to be reading numbers in scientific notation and writing them in standard form. Hopefully you were able to watch the introduction video. It's kind of a silly, cute little song, but it does introduce you to scientific notation. Now, scientific notation is usually used in science class because in science class you will talk about really, really big numbers or really, really small numbers. And this is a way for you to write those numbers a little bit easier than writing out all the many zeros that might come with it. The video also gave you some examples. The distance to the moon would be a number that you want to write in scientific notation. The speed of light would be an example of a number that you'd want to write in scientific notation. Well, to write numbers in scientific notation, we have to follow a couple rules. A number is written in scientific notation when it is represented as the product of a factor and a power of 10. The factor must be greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10. So this number here, the factor, has to be greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10. So what I always kind of use as the phrase is it has to be a number between 1 and 10. If it's not a number between 1 and 10, then it's not written correctly. But technically it has to be greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10. And then you multiply that times a power of 10, and the integer has to be an exponent, or the power of 10 has to have an integer exponent. So looking at our first example, it says tell whether the number is written in scientific notation and of course explain. So looking at this one, I'm checking to see if this number here is between 1 and 10, and it is, and this is a power of 10 with an exponent, and it is. So I would write yes, factor is between 1 and 10, and the power of 10 is an integer. Looking at this one, I see that this number here is not a number between 1 and 10. So that means it's not correctly written in scientific notation. So I would write no, the factor is not between 1 and 10. Please pause the video and check each of these to see if they are correctly written in scientific notation. All right, to check those three. So number 1A, I would say no, it is not. This number here is not between 1 and 10, so that is not correctly written in scientific notation. 1B, I would say yes. This factor here is between 1 and 10, and this is a power of 10 with an integer. This one I would say no, because this number here is not between 1 and 10. So to check your answers, it should be no, yes, no. Now the second target is I can write numbers in standard form. So writing numbers in standard form, the absolute value of the exponent indicates how many places to move the decimal. So if the exponent is negative, then you move the decimal to the left. If the exponent is positive, then you move the decimal point to the right. And really what you think about it is if you have a negative exponent, that means you're going to be dealing with a really, really small number. If you have a positive exponent, that means you're going to be dealing with a large number. So negative exponent, move decimal point to the left. Positive exponent, move decimal point to the right. So looking at example 2, it says write this number in standard form. So what I begin with is I see 2.75 times 10 to the negative 3. Well, the negative right there means I'm going to be moving my decimal to the left, and I'm going to be moving it 3 places. So that would be 1, 2, 3. And then I would have a 0 point, and then I'd fill in 2 zeros there, and that would give me this number right here. So again, the decimal started here. I moved it 1, 2, 3 places, and then I fill in 0.00275. That would be this number in scientific notation written in standard form. Looking at the second example here, 6.38 times 10 to the 7th. Well, the 7 there means I'm going to be moving my decimal to the right, and I'm going to be moving it 7 places. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means I'm going to be filling in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So you can see my 5 zeros there. The most common mistake that people make on scientific notation is they think this number is how many zeros I need to add. And that is completely wrong and leads to many, many mistakes with scientific notation. This number here tells me how many places to move the decimal point. So obviously when I'm moving the decimal point, those 2 places, that takes away from the 7. So then that means I only have to fill in 5 zeros in order to correctly write this number in standard form. Again, this number is not the number of zeros, it's the number of places that you are moving the decimal point. You can pause the video and do these ones on your own. All right, checking your answer, and you can see why this is a common mistake, because this one, the decimal starts right here. And then when you move it 7 places, that is actually going to give you 7 zeros. But most of the time, that's not the case. Typically, your number is a decimal here, and then moving it past those numbers that are not zeros will take away from the number of zeros that you have to add into it. But question number 2, the correct answer would be 60 million. Question number 3, the negative means I'm moving my decimal to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means I have to fill in 4 zeros and then 0 point to write that number. Now this one, again, 4 is not the number of zeros, it's the number of places I'm moving the decimal. So I would move it 1, 2, 3, 4, and I actually only have to put in 1 zero on this number, 12,850. Now some people say, well, isn't this actually less writing than writing this in scientific notation? And that is true, but we're just learning about how to write numbers in scientific notation. Scientific notation is typically used when numbers are really, really big or really, really small. All right, example 3 is a little bit of real-world application. An object with a lesser density than water will float. An object with a greater density than water will sink. Use each given density in kilograms per cubic meter to explain what will happen when you place a brick and an apple in water. So first they give me the density of water in scientific notation, and I want to write that out in number form, standard form, not scientific notation. So of course the decimal starts here. I move it 1, 2, 3 places. So the density of water is 1,000. Now the density of a brick, I'd move it over 1, 2, 3 would be 1,840. And an apple, 1, 2 would be 641. Well, the apple has a smaller density than water, so that means the apple is going to float. And you probably already knew that because that's what we do in the fall, is sometimes we'll bob for apples and the apples will float on the top of the water. You can see the brick has a higher density than water, and that's why the brick is going to sink if you put it in a bucket of water. So to answer the question, the brick will sink, the apple will float, and the reason that is the case is because of the density of the object compared to the density of water. You can pause the video and answer this one on your own. All right, to check it, water, of course, has a density of 1,000. Lead, I had to move this decimal 4 places, so that meant I put on 2 zeros. So lead has a density of 11,400 kilograms per cubic meter. So comparing that to water, that is a much greater density, so that is why lead will sink in water. Example 4, a dog has 100 female fleas. How much blood do the fleas consume per day? A female flea consumes about 1.4 times 10 to the negative 5th liter of blood per day. So first, I want to take this out of scientific notation. The negative means I need to move the decimal to the left, so I move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places, and I get 0.000014. Now that's how much one female flea consumes per day, but this poor dog has 100 female fleas on it. So I'm going to multiply that times 100, and that means that the dog, or the blood that will be consumed by the fleas per day, will be 0.0014 liters per day. The poor dog, he needs to get a flea treatment. Please answer this question on your own. All right, to check this one, of course, 1.4 times 10 to the negative 5th is 0.000014. I'm multiplying that by 75 because the dog only has 75 fleas. So that means the fleas are going to consume 0.000105 liters per day. All right, it is homework time, so we'll get started on the homework assignment together. So first question says, describe the difference between scientific notation and standard form. And scientific notation is written with a factor between 1 and 10 multiplied by a power of 10. Standard form is written with zeros and place value. Second question says, which number does not belong with the other three? Well, if you look closely at each of those are correctly written in scientific notation. This number would obviously be very big. This one would be very small. This one would be really big. Now this one, if you don't look at it closely, you'll notice that it's not correctly written in scientific notation. This 9.2 should be over here and this 10 should be over there. So that one is the one that does not belong because it is not written in scientific notation. Now, one thing we didn't really talk about is that a scientific calculator will write numbers in scientific notation. You kind of have to look, and some of you I know have played games with your calculator where you try to get the biggest number you can, and then eventually your number will move to scientific notation because it can't show that big of a number. And this is typically or similar to what scientific notation is on your calculator. What this means is 5.6 times the exponent of 12, but really that's scientific notation. You just didn't realize that's what you're seeing. What this translates to be is 5.6 times 10 to the 12th power. Or if I were to write out that number, I'd have to move this decimal 12 places, of course 1 past the 6, so that means I would put on 11 zeros, and this would actually be the number that your calculator is talking about. Now you can see why your calculator has to switch to scientific notation because they can't fit this many numbers on the screen of your calculator. So if you kind of mess around with your calculator and keep trying to type in a bigger and bigger and bigger number, eventually your calculator will switch to scientific notation. The scientific calculators that we use in class I actually really like because they actually put the power of 10 in there, so you can see that, oh, that's what it switched to. It switched to scientific notation. You don't necessarily need to have a scientific calculator right now for this chapter, but just be aware when you use a scientific calculator, it will sometimes switch to scientific notation if the number gets really, really big or really, really small. Big numbers, obviously, positive means you're moving the decimal to the right. Negative numbers means that you're moving the decimal to the left. Thanks for watching the video, and remember you can always email me with any questions that you might have.